Hey everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. So I want to talk about something that's kind of a touchy subject. It's about the origins of the COVID virus. Now, it's really become taboo on the left to talk about the COVID virus coming from China. And I don't understand why, because unless we understand the source, the true source of the COVID virus, how are we going to prevent the next virus? Politico recently reported that China is withholding information related to the potential true source of the COVID virus. Nobody really picked this up, as far as I can tell. And they report that the widely believed theory about the virus originating in a wet market appears to be false, and there's really good reason for it. Now, this isn't to say that China purposely infected the world with this virus. That's not what this is about. But if this was an accident, we need to know how it happened. And there's things that both the right and the left are missing. And I'm going to explain that in a minute, but it appears to be a failure on behalf of the Chinese government, as well as Donald Trump's administration, which allowed this to happen. So I'll explain. The first known COVID case in Wuhan occurred in February of 2020, and it had no connection to the wet market. In addition, the Chinese government shut the market down in January of 2020, and they sanitized it before anyone could go and gather any samples. Again, this is according to Politico's reporting. In May of 2020, the Chinese Centers for Disease Control admitted that they had no clue about the origin of this virus. And Politico went on to say that all the way back in late 2017, under the Trump administration, U.S. diplomats and officials at the Beijing embassy sent warnings, not one warning, multiple warnings, to the U.S. government about the Wuhan lab and their research into bat viruses, including coronaviruses. They told U.S. officials that there was, quote, a serious shortage of appropriately trained technicians and investigators needed to safely operate this high containment laboratory. They also implored the U.S. to immediately offer aid to the lab. They wanted the U.S. to step up and help them so that they could meet the top safety standards. And they warned that these Wuhan researchers had found a new variant of the coronavirus with the ability to easily infect humans because of the spike protein that hooks into our lung tissue. So they warned, again, all the way back in 2017, hey, typical coronavirus is not as bad, but this new variant that they've found has these spikes and it makes it more deadly. So they sent two separate cables to the Trump administration because they were so alarmed by what they discovered. And they purposely made these cables unclassified because they wanted more Americans to be able to read this information and share it. One of these U.S. officials told Politico, quote, the cable was a warning shot. They were begging people to pay attention to what was going on. However, they say their warnings were just completely ignored by the Trump administration. So this issue has now been passed along to the Biden administration. And a national security advisor named Jake Sullivan issued a statement that he has, quote, deep concerns because the World Health Organization recently went and they toured Wuhan and they toured the lab. However, according to the World Health Organization, Chinese authorities refused to provide them with crucial data that they had requested. So Politico makes a point to note that the COVID virus appears to have accidentally escaped this lab. It likely infected a Wuhan scientist first, because there's no evidence that the virus was engineered to cause harm. However, it is possible that the Chinese scientists were taking risks because they were performing their investigation, their research, by increasing the transmissibility of the virus without proper precautions. So this is apparently something that's done regularly. They do it purposely. Scientists do this to help predict the natural evolution of a virus and how it may cause harm to humans. They refer to this as gain of function. So basically, they play out these scenarios. They say, okay, if this virus keeps evolving in order to infect its host, how bad could it get? What's worst case scenario? How long would it take? What do we need to be concerned about? So again, this is referred to as gain of function. And an official told Politico that the US has evidence that Chinese labs were engaging in this dangerous gain of function type of research. And this is something that the Obama administration outlawed. He said, we're not going to do this type of gain of function research because it is so dangerous. And the thing is, this Wuhan lab didn't have the proper protective gear. They weren't sealed in the proper way, according to this Politico report. They just weren't taking the proper precautions in order to protect the scientists and in order to protect the general population if this got out. So it's possible that it was started accidentally in this lab. So that's on the Chinese government for not funding it, for not taking proper precautions. But it's also on the US and it's also on Donald Trump's administration for not heeding the warnings from their own people. They didn't take these warnings seriously. Our officials are saying the first known cases could have actually come at the end of 2019, not even at the beginning of 2020, as we once thought. So 2 years before that, Donald Trump's administration was warned, hey, red alert, they're doing research with this really highly contagious and very dangerous virus, and they don't have the proper precautions in place. We need to do something because this could get out and it could infect the entire world. Trump did nothing. His administration did nothing. So all of the people on the right who want to make it out like the Chinese are evil and they did this on purpose, how much of a conspiracy theorist do you have to be to believe that they would want to infect their own entire population and tank the world economy? For what? For what purpose? Now, were they careless? It appears so. Yeah, they took chances that they shouldn't have taken, and it appears to be an accident. So no, it doesn't appear that they were trying to infect the entire world or they were trying to use it as a biological weapon. Also, people on the right need to realize the Trump administration totally screwed up. They could have done something about this years before this virus got out. They could have taken action, and they didn't. From start to finish, Donald Trump completely and totally screwed up everything about the coronavirus. He could have helped to prevent it. He didn't. He could have helped when it finally hit and told people the truth about it. He didn't. He could have helped people financially and in every other way by taking action, wearing a mask, helping to promote mask wearing, helping to get the word out, keep people at home, keep them funded so that they could stay home, so they could stay safe and keep their businesses closed down while yet not going bankrupt. He didn't. From start to finish, he screwed up. You know why? Because he's a screw up. Even his own sister said he's an idiot and told Michael Cohen that he needed to stop with the nonsense and not run for president because he's a fucking moron. Maybe we should elect people who know what they're doing and who aren't complete and utter idiots. What a concept. So people on the right are missing all that. People on the left are missing the fact that, yes, it very well could have started in a Chinese lab. It doesn't mean it was done purposely, but it very likely escaped from that lab through one of their researchers because they weren't taking proper precautions. There is nothing racist about saying that. And again, until we accept and admit that, until we get to the bottom of this and find out if in fact that's true, how are we going to prevent the next virus? All right, guys, if I hear any more, I'll let you know. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.